When's the best time to plant a tree, Mr. Craig?
Have you heard of a blog before, Mr. Jason?
I have. You love tinkering, Mr. Craig.
I do like to tinker.
Hey, Craig, let's get into some coffee talk.
Hey, I love it. I love doing some coffee talk.
Well, talk about what?
Dogs, daughters, whatever. It's coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Well, good afternoon, Mr. Jason, or good morning to wherever you are across this great land.
Yes.
If there was a new listener on right then, they said eject.
Right.
And they'll be missing out on this really, really good conversation that I'd like to have about content marketing, Mr. Jason.
Ew.
Yeah.
You're so 2021 right now. It's
Trying
unreal.
Trying to be. You could say that I'm sort of millennial.
You are. You're definitely digressing.
Yeah, well, I did. Well, with you, we did interview the Millennial Whisperer. So
that's true. We're so hip. It's unreal.
Are we too hip to be square? Now we're old, if I say that. Yeah.
What is this content marketing that you speak of?
I love it when the camera cuts out. If you're on YouTube, then you just saw that. So content marketing is creating content for your audience that is going to make you relevant and interesting to them.
Nice.
Should we dissect what that means in English as you shut down your Slack and stop worrying about... I'm just kidding. But let's dive into that. Let's navigate that a little bit, okay? So creating content. And it doesn't mean that it has to be even insurance specific, right? What we want to do is create a situation where we're in front of our audience. Now, our audience is basically our group of people who can potentially become clients at some point.
Right. And I think this gets real interesting when we're talking about commercial insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can definitely get in some groups on, let's say, Facebook, or just find out there's somewhere that they're all coming together online. And if you can get in somehow, right, build those relationships, it's the same thing as going to your Chamber of Commerce 20 years ago.
Right.
Right, Craig? You used to do that.
Yep. About 33 years ago, I did. So what is interesting about this, though, and where I think there's some pitfalls that you can watch out for, are some of the automation. So I've noticed, like, we have the Insurance Dudes group, right, on Facebook, about 3,000 people. There's a couple people who jump in there and then they get kicked out very quickly, where they just start basically spamming, right, about their business, and like they're jumping to third base or the home run before doing anything else. And they need to slow down that roll. And if you're going to be pushing out content, it's got to be interesting, and it has to differentiate you from the rest of the noise. And I think that it doesn't necessarily even have to be entirely relevant to what you do. It has to be relevant to what your audience wants, right? Because then they know who you are.
Right. 100%. And we spoke about it before. Like, it could be anything that you like to do. Like, if you like to RV, like start a RV group in the state that you're in and just talk about it and have fun. And that's your foot in the door.
Yeah.
It can be anything, but to do nothing these days is insane. It's almost like another world was created with the internet.
It was.
Everybody's purchasing stuff off the internet. Things have skyrocketed. The amount of e-commerce sales and opt-ins and everything, it's skyrocketed in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So now, if we're not in that world, people are building real estate in this world. And we are going to lose out on a huge opportunity.
Right. So some people... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were...
I was going to ask you, when's the best time to plant a tree, Mr. Craig?
Oh, either today or 10 years ago, as the old saying goes. But we want to just get going, right? I think a lot of people stall out in trying to think about what they're going to do way too much. So we'll either overthink it, then never do it, analysis paralysis, or you just end up doing it and then not staying consistent. Kind of like life in general, right? If you're going to go to the gym, commit and go every day. And it's the same thing with this. You just have to be consistent. So at the beginning, you may not get anybody to read it or like it or respond or comment. much the same as our first episode. Maybe only a couple people listened to it. Now it's a lot more than that, right? But we were consistent. We didn't say, oh, nobody's listening, let's just stop. I mean, really, nobody's listening anyway, but we still don't stop.
Right? Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. As we nudge up towards episode 400.
It's the same thing as, I guess everything's a funnel, right? Everything is the exact same. You have to do something 100 times. Only a few of those things are going to work out. Maybe one will hit, and you just got to keep doing it. And it's all the wins that make up the bulk of it. It's not the losses. And I think with this is, no matter what, it's not going to work at first. Like, it's a numbers game, right? And it's also a trial and error type game too. So the clear objective would be to network and get those contacts you need for your business. I think that's the best way to do it. If you have that objective in mind, then remember, you can talk about anything. RVs, just get in with the right people, and they're congregating somewhere on the internet box.
Of course. And if it's something that you enjoy, all the more fun, right? Because now you can focus on the thing you love and mix that with the thing that pays for you to live, and boom, magic happens.
Word.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
So Facebook, right? You can publish on Facebook. You can create a blog. Have you heard of a blog before, Mr. Jason?
I have. That's a tough one in the sense that you got to be a writer. Like, and to Craig's point earlier, do whatever you like. Like, if it's, you like to write, maybe it's a blog, or maybe it's just going in some sort of group where you can just write some comments on how to help people with their RVs or something.
Yeah. You can create a YouTube channel. Another way to do it.
Instagram.
Yeah,
the tube of view. The cool thing about YouTube is it doesn't go anywhere. It's the world's largest search engine. So if you're helping people out on a subject, it's on there and it stays on there, which is
you can do literally anything, right? If you like to fix your house. Hey, this is Mr. Craig, with so-and-so carrier. I want to give you some tips on how to fix your house. We're going to talk about how to hang a door, right? Or do whatever. Like, you can talk about anything, which I love. But I don't love hanging the door.
Word.
I did do that.
You love it. You love tinkering, Mr. Craig.
I do like to tinker. I've had the most fun with the van lately. We'll see how fun it is if I electrocute myself.
The RV van that literally Craig bought a brand new.
Not brand new.
Camper van. Well, a used camper van.
That was
I
built.
guess. And then took the entire thing apart, put it back together again.
I used to do that when I was a kid, though, too. Buy a radio, take it apart, see what's ticking in there. I like to do that. Tinker around.
Yeah.
So whatever you like to do, do that and tie it back to what you're doing with that thing that makes you money. And that, in this case, is being an insurance dude or do that, right? You can do a million different things, a newsletter, an email list, anything. Just get people on there, get them interested. And again, when we talk about sales, which we talk about all the time, we just did in our Elite Dudes call, is the most important thing is the rapport, right? You have to establish rapport with the person in order for them to want to buy from you. So they get to know you, they get to like you, and then they trust you. And that's the same thing, where you're going to do that with the content that you create. Yes, nobody will listen at first. Stick with it. Eventually they will. And that, my friends, is a coffee talk. But before we go,
okay,
I want you to pull a hammer out of your pocket and then take your phone and look at that subscribe button and just pound that thing.
Like that.
Not too hard, though, because you may break your phone. The outcome that we're looking for is an actual subscribe, because then you're going to get great new episodes like this delivered right to your phone.
I love it, Mr. Craig. And that's a coffee talk.
It is. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to write 100,000 in premium off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes, it's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live, and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now, live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
All right.